KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
Hey there, I'm Jared Hill, president of the National Association of Black Journalists of Los Angeles, and I just want to say thank you for the benevolent $10,000 donation and scholarships for the next generation of black journalists.
And I'm Haywood Galbraith, photojournalist and founder of the Minority Photojournalism Institute. Thanks, KBLA, for your generous $10,000 scholarship gift to help us train the next generation of black photojournalists.
Congratulations to all the students who will benefit from the scholarship dollars raised at our Black History Month luncheon honoring black legends in LA media. When we come forward at KBLA Talk 1580, we're bringing everybody with us. Everybody with us. Everybody with us. Everybody with us.
Brothers and sisters! Brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to.
Yes, the rhythm, the rebel. Without a pause, I'm lowering my level. The hard rhymer, where you never been, I'm in. You want styling? You know it's time again. D, the enemy, telling you to hear it. They praise the music, this time they play the lyrics. Some say no to the album, the show. Bum rush the sound, I made a year ago. I guess you know, you guess I'm just a radical. Not on sabbatical, yes, to make it critical. The only part of your body should be partying too. Pass the power on the hour from the rebel to you.
Hey, yo, Chuck, man,
Radio, suckers never play me. On the mix, they just okay me now, known and grown. When they're clocking my zone, there's no sneaking and taking everything now the brother owns. My calling card, recorded and ordered. Supporter of Chesimard, loud and proud, kicking live, next poet supreme. Loop for truth, bazooka, the scheme. Flavor, a rebel in his own mind. Supporter of my rhymes, designed to scatter a line of suckers when I do crime. But on my time, kick it.
You've heard many of my Pulse one-on-one interviews on my show with people that I feel have their fingers on the pulse of black America. Tonight, you get another boost of black brilliance and excellence. Interviews with people that I feel that you need to know, but I'm sure you already know. He's a rapper, spoken word artist, and lecturer who resides in Atlanta. Calling from Atlanta right now. He was a member of the seminal hip-hop group Public Enemy, serving as the group's Minister of Information. During his time with Public Enemy, he was adherent of the ideas espoused by Louis Farrakhan, which informed both Griffin's and Public Enemy's ideological views. Having served in the U.S. Army and cultivating an interest in martial arts, he trained the S1W security team that toured with Public Enemy dressed in military uniforms, doing choreographed military step drills on stage. And tonight, he descends into the Danny Mo Show to talk about his hip-hop beginnings, why he believes hip-hop is on the decline, what his thoughts are on this latest AI controversy, and the state of the black community in general. Ladies and gentlemen, inside my Pulse One-on-One, the legendary, from the legendary Public Enemy, the king of the S1Ws himself, Professor Grill.
Peace.
How you doing, King? You good? Are you awake? I know Atlanta, it's 1 o'clock in Atlanta right now. You good?
Nah, I'm awake. You know, a lot of times the artists, man, we keep these kind of hours, bro. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing very, very good. It is an honor to have you on. My audience is waiting for you. I've heard nothing but praise from the moment I dropped the digital flyer on my socials today. Everybody was in my DMs going, "You got Professor Griff gonna come on to the show? That cat, I love that cat." They love you.
Well, respect, man, and thanks to the people for just lending that energy to, you know, to the legacy of not only myself, but the rest of the brothers in Public Enemy, man. And all of us, man, that have taken the music seriously and tried to push a message in the music to uplift our people. So thank you to the people. We could not have done it without the people. And that introduction was ridiculous. I'm about to have you on one of these albums.
Oh, wait, no, come on, wait, hey, watch out. Hey, Professor, listen now. Don't you tease me like that, because you know I will accept. I'll fly to ATL tonight. Don't do that to me. I'll do it.
So everything is good?
Everything is fantastic here in L.A. We got to get you in L.A. I'd love to have you in studio at some point, because you are a much sought-after person to do interviews with. We ain't going to get into the ones in the past. We've seen them all. But there's some topics I want to touch on tonight that I think your voice is perfect for the conversations. Can we get into it real quick here?
Yes, we can. But I would definitely like to thank Habib for setting this up. And that's a good brother. He's the unofficial mayor of L.A.
Yeah, shout out to Abid, who connected the dots between me and Professor Griff. You know, he is a friend of the broadcast, and to be honest with you, he's become quite the mentor to me since I moved to Los Angeles. So I know he's listening right now. As a matter of fact, he's texting me as we speak. So shout out to Abid. He is definitely the mayor of Los. I went to lunch with that cat. He knows everybody, man. He knows everybody. Has he always been like that?
I don't know. When I met him, man, he just had a mental Rolodex that was ridiculous, man. His names, places, dates, people, whatever. Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. We're talking to Professor Griff of Public Enemy inside the Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. I ask everybody that comes in here, I got to do the same with you now. What is your why? Why do you continue to fight for us? Why do you continue to fight the power, Professor?
Well, that's a common question that I have to kind of deal with every single day when I wake up, give praise and thanks to the Creator, look in the mirror and have to give my affirmation. I have to affirm, and then I have to reaffirm. I'm answering the call to the Creator to do exactly what the Creator deposited in me to do. And you're part of that. The people are part of that. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, I have a thing that I kind of go by. It's a mantra. It's a saying. It's my motto. It's how I live. I'm a soul in search of souls that are like mine.
I am concerned about this generation. We've talked about it on this show before. I'm not concerned solely about the hip-hop, which we're going to get into in a second. I'm solely because it seems like you're talking about the Creator. This newer generation ain't vibing with God the way that we were. It seems like they're gravitating away from any belief system. Does that concern you the way that it does me?
Yes, because it's an insult not only to us as a people, to our ancestors that fought, bled, and died for us to even see this day, but as an insult to the Creator, him and herself. You understand what I'm saying? I think, we didn't get here just by our own, this idea of us doing it by ourselves alone in this me society that we live in. Everything is me, everything is I. Nothing is ever we or us anymore. You understand what I'm saying? And it's very concerning because to a degree we've substituted our God for their wealth.
That's real talk. It is tough to tell these young kids, because I know back when you guys were at the peak of your powers, you guys weren't making the money that these cats were. You guys made more money touring than you did actually selling records. I think that's why you guys were on tour as much as you were. But you can't tell these cats that. They're making a ton of money off of these streaming services and also the stage work. So how do you redirect them away from the bag when you know and I know it's only going to poison them in the end?
Well, I think we need to get the stats correct. I don't think they're making too much money off the streaming. I think a lot of people will have something to say about that. But the streaming thing is not where they're really making their money. And it's probably either more touring or some illegal stuff that's going on in the street that's associated with the music.
Yeah, there's some illegal things going on. We could have an entire conversation about the RICO charges that have come to some of these hip-hop artists over the last 5 years or so.
Exactly.
But you ain't got that kind of time. Let me ask you real quick. We touched on it earlier in the broadcast, and we touch on it on the show ever since the list came out a couple of weeks ago. I got to ask you, because I've been going crazy all day thinking about it. The top 50 hip-hop artists of all time came out by Billboard and Vibe magazine, right? And here's the top 10 real fast. Nicki, Snoop, Drake, Lil Wayne, Biggie, M, Pac, Nas, Kendrick Lamar, and Jay-Z at the top. They had the brilliant Chuck D at number 34. How does that make you feel knowing that your dude, your guy, is as far down as 34 on the list there? I was offended.
No, that's very offensive. Who wrote that? A third grader? Somebody not know hip-hop history. Hip-hop legacy, the legacy of black music. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that list is ridiculous. Yeah. So it's like,
I tell people that don't understand Chuck D, I said not only was he doing hip-hop with basically a fist in the air and fighting for us as a people and fighting for the movement, but I don't remember Chuck D ever cussing. Did he ever cuss one time on a record? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so, simply because we talked about John Wayne and Elvis and that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. But Flavor was the one that cussed in that line. That wasn't Chuck D, was it?
No, it really wasn't Chuck. But we can associate some things. He probably cursed more off record than he did on. But anyway, Chuck is a brilliant writer, brilliant artist, and there's no way in the world that you can look at the history of hip hop and just look at just MCs that are there on the list and put Chuck D at 30. Now, I can honestly say that list is probably accurate when you say rappers. Chuck D is not a rapper, he's an MC. KRS-One is not a rapper, he's an MC. You understand what I'm saying? So we'll give that to the little kids that's still playing in the hip-hop, rapper romper room. We'll give that to them. But when you start talking about grown folks that have laid the base for hip-hop and paved the way, we have to talk about the elements of hip-hop, and MCing is one of them. DJing, graffiti, breakdancing, and then the knowledge of self, which synthesizes all of the elements together, which is knowledge of self, which is the fifth element.
That's real
you understand
talk.
what I'm saying?
That's real talk. Go ahead.
So we talk about MCs versus rappers.
Andy, Professor Griffith's on fire right now, and he makes a great point. We haven't even thought about that. We're just thinking about a cat in front of a mic, busting a rhyme or two. Do you have stage presence? You know what I'm saying? Can you put lyrics together? How's your metaphors? How's your rhyme schemes, all that? A lot of these cats on this list can't do that, and Chuck D was a master at all of that. And you talk about commanding the crowd. Yo.
Exactly.
Come on.
And then speaking outside of the song. Can you do an interview? How about that? Ooh. Can you hold a decent conversation and move the culture forward?
Ooh. You making the case.
That's real. That's an MC.
Yeah, Chuck D should be number one. That is a master of ceremonies. He's exactly right.
Right.
We're going to put you on hold right now. When we come forward, we will get into the conversation. For those that don't know, the two people that are listening that don't know who you are, when we come forward, I want you to tell them your story on how you and Public Enemy came together to make Mastery. Because from what I understand, it was supposed to be a 2-year project. You guys are going to get in, get out, get the bag, and run. This thing became a movement. I want you to tell my audience about that in a couple minutes here. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
We are talking to the legendary Professor Griff inside my Post One-on-One Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about. Stay there.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, Maisha Cairo here, KBLA, live at Chase Bank on Crenshaw and Vernon for the In This Together tour with female business owners, a day of empowerment, community panels, and best of all, tips on building business from marketing to capital. I was able to speak with one of the panelists, the owner of Kids Love. Take a listen.
So Kids Love, KIDSLUV, is a first-to-market zero-sugar, vitamin-enhanced functional beverage for kids.
So the zero sugar is really important because if not, the sugar gets on the teeth, it can cause cavities. So as a mom, I love this vitamins and hydration in one. Tell us what's happening here with Chase Bank today.
So I would say, I think what Chase is trying to do is create a community actually for entrepreneurs, a place where people can go. They have the space to do it. It's a beautiful space. And to be able to have these conversations. There are so many benefits to being a women-owned and certified business, from a standpoint of getting into stores, not paying the slotting fees of what it takes to be in stores. So I think Chase is trying to bring awareness to a lot of the things that people just don't know about, that not only the bank can help, but outside of the bank, their relationships can help create.
That's beautiful. And I know, this is how we build equity in communities of color, is kind of spreading that information and that knowledge. So thank you for being here today and doing your part and letting these women know that it is possible.
For KBLA 1580, I'm Maisha Cairo in the community with Chase.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
And we're in conversation with the legendary Professor Griff of Public Enemy inside my Post 101 Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. I would be remiss if I didn't allow you to take my audience through your origin story with Public Enemy, because as I understand it, you had Chuck D and Flavor Flav on one side, and it was you and Terminator X on the other. How did you guys come together and form the force known as Public Enemy?
Well, we can't leave out the S1Ws.
Oh,
we
of
cannot.
Yeah.
We can't leave out the bomb squad that made it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? And then we didn't have fans. We had family. We had fams. You understand what I'm saying? So, but I think the idea and the concept of Public Enemy started out in the head and in the mind of Chuck D, who formulated in his mind. It was actually offered a deal by Def Jam, but didn't want to do the Chucky D show. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So working at a Delphi University with Hank Shockley, Keith Shockley, and Flavor Flav having a show with the Flavortrons. At the same time that was happening, I was already organizing in the street, teaching martial arts classes, and just having study groups at the local youth center. So Chuck kind of brought all of us together, came up with this concept, Public Enemy, and we kind of developed it from that point. Everybody playing an integral part and playing it well. Terminator X was awesome DJ. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Along with the assistance of Johnny Juice and other people. But Hank Shockley and Keith Shockley from the Bomb Squad, the two brothers, lent their expertise along with Eric Sadler, formed the Bomb Squad, and just we did the thing musically. And then, Chuck being a part of that also. And then Chuck is a dynamic, intricate writer. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think the idea of choreographing the whole thing, giving it a look, and then doing the research for some of the songs was my role that I played. And then, being the leader, being an S1W myself, and then becoming the leader of the S1Ws, we needed that because we needed to set up these things around the country. We needed to teach. We were trying to set an example to show young black men how to be disciplined and how to be focused, studious, and take care of your duties and responsibilities.
I got it.
That's Public Enemy.
And that is what I and a lot of the generation cats that I grew up with, that's what we were flocking towards, because we had never heard that type of music coming out of hip-hop. We were like, wait a minute, Chuck D is talking about empowerment and getting out to vote and taking care of your family and representing your neighborhoods and so on and so forth. And the S1Ws, man, y'all was sharp, man, with the choreography and everything. It was just something we had never seen before. And I got to be real with you also.
We can't forget about Flavor Flav, though, and what he brought to the table, man. You understand what I'm saying? Definitely.
He did, no doubt. No, he was definitely the personality of the group. But I have a confession to make, too. Like, I wasn't vibing with Minister Farrakhan back then. I wasn't. Like, he would say a lot, and my mother was against him on what he was saying. I think the fact that he was of Muslim faith had something to do with it as well. And I listen to him now, and I think he was ahead of the game. He really was. Some of the messaging that he was putting out when I was a teenager, we didn't pay attention to it. Now that I'm a grown man, I look back and I go, man, we should have been listening to that message a long time ago.
Right. Well, so we don't have his mission. You understand what I'm saying? So that's his mission, and it's hard to judge from the periphery. You understand what I'm saying? When you take the weight of educating and uplifting and waking up a people, that's a large duty and responsibility only only that man. He was charged. Him and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was charged to do that, and he was charged to do that. So, but here we are, and he's still standing strong to this day.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's still going strong for sure. We're talking to Professor Griff of Public Enemy inside my Post 101 Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. So we got to talk about Flav, because you and Flav, you guys have had a relationship for a long, long time. How good are you guys today?
I think me and Flav are fine. I think we're older now, and we could look at some of the struggles in the past and say, okay, something that was then, this is now. Learn from your experiences. Those individuals that grow up, or they act like they're growing up or grown-ups, but still suffer from these things that when they're in their 20s, there's nothing wrong with them laying down on somebody's couch somewhere, or there's nothing wrong with them healing. And I think all of us had to go through that to a certain degree. You understand what I'm saying? And we had to say to ourselves, something, here we are, all of us are still living. All of us, still have our faculties. And we can either get back on the stage or get back in the studio or just live our lives being brothers or just being friends. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think right now, today, I'm 62. Flavor should be 64.
Yeah.
I think we have a lot left in us. You understand what I'm saying? I love Flavor, and I'm always going to love Flavor. You understand what I'm saying? Because we've done something very magical.
Magical is right. I think God sent. I think that's what that was. It wasn't magic. That was a blessing for you guys to bless the entire community the way you did with the music and the movement at the same time. It did come out, a couple weeks ago, not to put him on blast, he came out about his addictions. And he finally came clean and said, I was struggling. He said he was spending $2,600 a day on drugs for 6 years before getting sober, but now he's in a much better place. I always think about hip-hop groups and R&B groups on how many things, like I watched New Edition and what Bobby Brown went through. How tough is it to keep things tight, to keep the synergy between the artists of the group when everybody's got their perils that they got to go through?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I think I have to take responsibility for, simply because not knowing how to handle that. Things got physical, not knowing how to handle that, even in my young age, having to be the road manager, you understand what I'm saying? Having to be the choreographer, having to be the minister of information, having to be mature, even at the young, tender age in my 20s, and then having to deal with an individual like that. And oftentimes, me and Flavor, I have offered the olive branch and offered my apologies and say, listen, man, we were young then, and the things that happened then were then. You understand what I'm saying? But I take responsibility square and put it squarely on my shoulders. But to answer your question directly, it's very difficult, man. Because if you know anybody that's ever been on drugs, they're only cool until the next time, they either get the fix or get the high or whatever. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? And that's a very difficult thing to deal with. And not knowing how to deal with it, it got extremely ugly. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys are here.
And some things I might regret. I think that's why, I shook the olive branch and said, here you go. Oftentimes I texted and called Flavor and said, listen, man, I apologize. Let's get together as brothers, as men, and not only show one another, but show the world that this is how you resolve conflict.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have help somebody off drugs classes when I was young. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't get the in-office memo.
Well, I think we've been told in our communities, I grew up in the crack era, and I think we've been told that there's really nothing you can do directly with somebody that's going through their addictions like that. You got to wait for them to, what they say, hit rock bottom before you can actually move in and offer some help. I'm not sure if there's anything you could have done if it had gotten that bad, don't you think?
Yeah, but you know something, I can't shove all of the weight on Flavor and what he was going through. All of us have our individual struggles. His may have been drugs. Mine have been how we have this kind of thing with death. I think, and mine was bad, bro. Yeah. It's like I grew up thinking I'm living past 20-something, so I'm gonna make the best of this. You understand what I'm saying? And I didn't have the short man's complex. You understand what I'm saying? Some people said I did, but I was like, I just wasn't afraid of anything. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'd run up to somebody's chest in a heartbeat, but I always thought the Creator prepared me to do what I needed to do in Public Enemy. I was just that dude. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I had a crew of S1Ws that wasn't afraid either. You understand what I'm saying? So we moved Public Enemy. We zigzagged across the country, having no fear. But you see, that's what the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad do to you. It puts that courage in you for you to go out wherever our people are and go get them, bro. For real.
I don't know what you're talking about with short man syndrome. Look, just back when I was a teenager watching you, I was terrified of you, man. I don't care how tall you were. I was terrified of you and the S1Ws, man. I was like, yo, what is the deal? So tell me what it took to get in your group, because, man, you had some really just tight, disciplined, military cats in the S1Ws, man. What did it take to get in there? Was it a certain age? What was the criteria to join the group?
No, certain people tried, but we, back then we had a tight-knit group of brothers that was dedicated to the cause, and we followed Chuck's lead. And, we were dedicated to going to uplift our people, man. You understand what I'm saying? We had to be the embodiment of what Chuck spoke about on the songs. We had to be that example, man. You kind of figure the name Public Enemy came out of Chuck's heart, mind, and spirit. But if you're talking about being an enemy to the public, they wrote us in the Constitution as 3/5 of a human being. You understand what I'm saying? We had to prove them wrong and say, no, we're complete human beings. As a matter of fact, deeper than that, we're the creators of everything on the planet.
Preach. Come on, continue. Go ahead.
We're the mothers and fathers of everyone. So no, we dedicated ourselves to get ahead and travel and zigzag across this globe to find and educate our people, man. But sad but true, the early days when we were on the Beastie Boys tour, we had nothing but white fans.
That's got to be weird.
You can imagine.
It's got to be weird to be in front of an entire 20,000 white kids singing Public Enemy songs and dancing with the S1Ws. It's got to be strange.
Yeah, that was critical, man. It was very, very strange. So we just had to adapt to that simply because those same whites, they're the ones that grew up and voted for Barack Obama. So it served its purpose.
Wow. Well said. And people don't understand 70% of hip-hop is bought by white people. I try to tell people that. White people out there buying hip-hop.
Yeah. They want to be part of the culture.
That's right. All right, we're at the bottom of the hour, so we'll put you on hold now. When we come forward, we got to jump into the hip-hop conversation. I also want to talk to you a little bit about the black community in general. I also want to talk to you about this AI controversy that's going everywhere. Andy and I were just having a conversation about it. I will bring you into it in a few minutes here. We're talking to the legendary Professor Griff of Public Enemy inside my Pulse One-on-One Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about right now, news and traffic. Don't you move.
Nighttime is the right time for Danny Morrison on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Julius White. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Concerns about Black Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas's failure to disclose gifts and luxury travel he received from a Republican donor are being sent to a judicial committee. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse and Congressman Hank Johnson also accused Thomas of not reporting the sale of 3 Georgia properties related to him to billionaire donor Harlan Crow. In California, the city of San Diego is considering no-fault eviction payments for renters. If approved by the San Diego City Council on Tuesday, tenants who are paying rent on time and complying with their lease could only be evicted by receiving 2 months' rent from the landlord. 3 months for seniors and people with a disabled family member. And Tiger Woods is still dealing with the effects of his 2021 car accident. The legendary golfer underwent surgery to treat his post-traumatic arthritis after fracturing his ankle bone. I'm Julius White on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
When you think Wendy's Biggie Bag, think your go-to meal deal with your choice of JBC, double stack or crispy chicken sandwich, plus 4-piece nugs, junior fries, and a small soft drink. Biggie hits every time. So grab a Biggie Bag today. U.S. price and participation may vary. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Tell me I'm the boy that girl. I'm young, gifted, and black. And that's a fact.
At KB KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
Hey there, I'm Jared Hill, president of the National Association of Black Journalists of Los Angeles, and I just want to say thank you for the benevolent $10,000 donation and scholarships for the next generation of black journalists.
And I'm Haywood Galbraith, photojournalist and founder of the Minority Photojournalism Institute. Thanks, KBLA, for your generous $10,000 scholarship gift to help us train the next generation of black photojournalists.
Congratulations to all the students who will benefit from the scholarship dollars raised at our Black History Month luncheon honoring black legends in LA media. When we come forward at KBLA Talk 1580, we're bringing everybody with us. Everybody with us. Everybody with us. Everybody with us. Everybody with us.
I won't thank you.
KBLA Talk 1580 would like to thank all of the businesses that tune into KBLA at work. We celebrate you, your calls to the station, and your overall support. To show our appreciation, we would like to treat your office to a lunch for 10, brought to you by the Original Taco Pete's. Open the KBLA Talk 1580 app or log on to KBLA1580.com to submit your office to be selected for our Office of the Week. We know you're just like our staff, putting in many hard, smart working hours per week. We just want to say thank you, and we appreciate you. You and your staff deserve lunch on us. Enter your office to win lunch for 10 and be highlighted on KBLA Talk 1580 as our Office of the Week. Open the KBLA app or log on to KBLA 1580 to enter your office today to become the KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week, sponsored by the Original Taco Pete's, a black-owned restaurant. Become the KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week. This has been a KBLA Talk 1580 community call to action.
I know it could not happen without you.
Did you know that over 90% of male enhancement pills are virtually the same thing that's repackaged, redone over and over again? Why settle for the same old product when you can get something completely different? Something that takes male enhancement into the 21st century. Something that really works. Men, you need to try Noxitril, the explosive, all-natural male enhancement formula that will unlock your performance in the bedroom to a level you could only dream of. Try to imagine Viagra on steroids. Noxitril is so powerful, that's why it took years for it to finally become available to the public without a prescription. So call now and take advantage of our special Noxitril free bottle offer today. Oh yeah, we recommend that you use the Noxitril dose as directed. Think of your partner. We certainly don't want you to overperform in the bedroom.
Find out how to get a free bottle of Noxitril. Call 800-490-7856. That's 800-490-7856. Free bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-490-7856. 800-490-7856.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family was founded to help address domestic violence and sexual assault in the Asian and the Pacific Islander communities. The Center for the Pacific Asian Family's mission is to build healthy and safe communities by addressing the root causes and consequences of family violence and violence against women. They are committed to meeting the specific cultural and language needs of the Asian and Pacific Islander women and their families. CPAF's vision is of an Asian and Pacific Islander community that embraces healthy relationships and works in partnership with other communities to eradicate all forms of violence. To access services, volunteer, or for more info, visit nurturingchange.org. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe everyone deserves to be safe. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
Too strong. Too black. Too strong.
Yo, Chuck, these dirty drippers are still front on us. Show them that we can do this, cause we always do this. Yeah, boy.
Bass, how low can you go? Death row? What a brother know. Once again, back is the incredible rhyme animal, the uncannibal thief. Public enemy number one. 5-0 said freeze, and I got numb. Can I tell them that I really never had a gun? But it's the wax that the Terminator X spun. Now they got to sell, cause my records they sell. Cause a brother like me said, well, Farrakhan's a prophet and I think you wanna listen to what he can say to you. What you ought to do is follow for now. Hell what the people say, make a miracle, keep up the lyrical. Black is back, all in, we're gonna win, check it out. Yeah, yo, come on. Here we go again. Bring the noise.
Hey, yo, Chuck, they saying we too black, man.
Bring the noise.
Yo, I don't understand what they're saying, but little do they know they can get a smack for that.
You were checking out the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580. That's Bring the Noise from Public Enemy. We are in conversation right now with Professor Griff of Public Enemy. That is a heater right there. Professor, I got a question real quick because as we on the West Coast know, one of our dons, one of our greatest hip-hop artists of the generation, Ice Cube, broke away from NWA, went over to the East Coast and started working with the Bomb Squad. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, they produced that entire America's Most Wanted album. Were you a part of that process at all?
No, not at all. But my partner, KG, the Wizard KG, Keith Shockley, was one of the main integral parts in making that happen, man. So shout out to KG. The Bomb Squad, man, they was on another level and way ahead of their time. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We were DJs. We were Spectrum City DJs, and that's how I actually started out. I started out as a DJ. I was DJ Griff.
What? So you was on the ones and twos also, huh?
Yeah, of course. In high school, I was a DJ. You understand what I'm saying? So me and Keith had a group called the KGs inside of Spectrum City. And, so when Ice Cube came black to the East, you understand what I'm saying? And they put it down for him, along with Belle Biv DeVoe, along with a few other things that the Bomb Squad has done that people probably don't know about. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, very talented brothers, man. And they know music, man. They knew how to put it together.
Yeah, they were brilliant. Still are. We're talking to Professor Griff, Public Enemy, inside my Post 101 Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. Before we jump into these clips that I want to play for you and we have some conversation on it, I want to first get your thoughts on tonight's topic of conversation on the show. I made my case in my first hour that hip-hop has been on the decline for years. As a matter of fact, my reasons inside what I call my 7 series were hip-hop has gone commercial. We deleted the power from the music. Hip-hop's negative, lacks a counterbalancing message. Too many artists out there are saturating the market. Hip-hop is too easy to make. Lyricism is dead. And where is the unity? You could choose one of mine, or you can give me your own. What do you believe is the primary reason hip-hop is on the decline? And do you even believe that to be the case?
I think lack of respect for the elders, lack of respect for the art form, and then taking hip hop and packaging it and putting hip hop on the shelf to be packaged. My Navajo brothers and sisters, Native Americans, they have a saying. They say that the paper is their enemy because once we take our rituals that we have to perform and put them on paper, put it in the book, close the book, put it on the shelf, we tend to forget.
Oof.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We need to get back to the elements of hip-hop and respect the architects of hip-hop. That's where we're failing. That's where we're failing. We need to respect the architects. I think, we just don't have, we don't have that now.
There was actually a conversation, I don't know if it actually materialized, that there was going to be a hip-hop union of some sort that was going to take care of some of the hip-hop artists from the past. Did that ever come into fruition, or was that just talk?
No, it's not. It wasn't. It wasn't just talk. I think Chuck D and a few of the artists, I believe Curtis Blow and some other brothers have gotten together and actually making that happen right now as we speak.
Ooh.
And that's important because it shows a level of respect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We don't take our people and shove them in warehouses called old folks' homes.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, it bothers me. It bothers me that a lot of these younger hip hop cats. Who was it that was coming after Nas recently? Remember on that? Who was it? There was
21 Savage.
21 Savage came after Nas and was disrespecting him on some Discord, chain or something. They finally put out a song together to try to make amends, but I was just really upset that somebody from the new school generation had the audacity to fix his lips to disrespect Nas, one of the best hip-hop artists of all time. Did you ever hear about that?
Yeah, I heard about it, and I just kind of reserved my comments simply because, Now, a lot of times we don't straighten the king's crown in public. I couldn't get a hold of 21 Savage in order to have that conversation, like I couldn't get a hold of a lot of brothers to have the conversation. There's some conversations that we need to have in-house behind closed doors so we can talk for real. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're living in a culture right now. Can you imagine if Professor Grip would have came out and said something against 21 Savage? You understand what I'm saying? It's like, no,
I think people ride with you. Professor, I think people would have rode with you if you would come out and said something about it, because a lot of people were trying to come out against 21, and I think that's the reason they put that song together. If you came out and said, don't be disrespecting our heroes, I think they would have jumped on your side.
But that's what I didn't want. I didn't want them to take sides. We need to take side with truth and what's right.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
And with anything, we need to let the young 21 Savages know that we have to kind of put in place a methodology and a way about going about talking, having these conversations openly and not being disrespectful. I mean, I could disagree with you on the air right now. I don't have to be disrespectful about it.
Mm. Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Very much. Don't disagree with me. We in sync right now. We in synergy. You don't. Real, I want to know how you think about. By the way, what do you think of Melly Mel? You know, he's been swinging lately, coming after a whole lot of hip hop artists, young and old. By the way, what do you think about his stance on the hip hop generation?
Well, I think Melly Mel has his perspective, and he has a right to voice what he's feeling. You understand what I'm saying? From what I've heard, it sounds like a little bit he hasn't been appreciated. It sounds a little like he didn't get his quote unquote just due. But do you know how many artists are walking around? Older artists are walking around like that with that in their chest, getting gray hair and also behind it.
Yeah, but he says he's the GOAT, though, Professor. He thinks he's the GOAT. He should be number one.
Yeah, me and Melly Mel got to talk.
I think the case that he's making is this ain't happening without him. He is one of the pillars of hip hop. How could he not be at least top 5? But without him, none of this goes down. That is his argument. Do you buy that at all?
No, I'm not buying it, nor am I selling anything else. I'm saying to the Melly Mels of the world, let's do away with who's the number 1, who's number 5, who's number 10. Why can't we say we're all an intricate part of making this thing beautiful, making this thing work, making this thing magic? And this thing I'm talking about is called higher infinite power, healing our people. It's called hip-hop. Mm-hmm. We've made it work. You understand? We changed and we changed the world with it. You understand what I'm saying?
Wait, Professor, you got to do that again. I've never heard that before. I didn't know hip-hop was an acronym. Look at us grabbing a pen and paper right now. One more time. What is hip-hop? What does hip-hop stand for? One more time.
It's higher infinite power healing our people. And that's not me.
Oh, my God.
That's Minister Server. That's KRS-One. It comes from the temple of hip-hop. That comes from that camp. Higher infinite power healing our people.
Wow, that's fire right there.
And Melly Mel should be proud that he's a part of that. You understand what I'm saying? Because Melly Mel was one of the individuals that sparked something in us, that woke us up with the song The Message. So he should be proud of that. You don't have to be number 1 or even number 5. You earned your place, man.
We're up against it right here. I gotta put you on hold for a second, but I think the issue that he has, his bag probably isn't as big as some of these younger artists. You look at the old NFL players; they were going through the same thing. You know, these older cats are not getting the bag the same way these younger cats are. They're signing $200 million contracts these days, and cats like Jim Brown is like, man, I ain't got no money like that, and this league don't exist without me. So I understand why Melly Mel might be all up in his feelings, but I think you're right, man. You gotta just give love and say, you know what? I did help in building that. I did. And I got a voice because of it, right?
Right, exactly. So even if he had the bag, would that change the dynamic of who's on the list? The bag does not determine who should be on the list, man. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's some things I can mention right now that sell more than music.
Although Jay-Z is number 1 and he's worth $2.5 billion, so I don't know. I don't know if that's totally true.
Right.
Professor, when we come forward, I'll put you on hold now. When we come forward, we got to play a couple clips for you because we still got to get into AI. And I want to talk a little about Steph Curry, too. I want to play that clip for you, and I want to know what you think on that. Right. Professor Griff from Public Enemy inside my Pulse One-on-One Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about. You heard?
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Black Chamber of Commerce is helping to expand broadband access. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by Lendistry. Story courtesy of CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. The California Black Chamber of Commerce is joining hands with California state government to help narrow its digital divide by helping push the state's middle mile broadband initiative through the Broadband Technology Small Business Initiative. It connects CBCC's statewide membership of 5,500 plus small African American business firms and non-Black entities to the benefits of broadband technology. 2020 Internet Access records that 15% of Black Californians had zero internet access. And another program known as the Affordable Connectivity Program makes qualifying households eligible for $30 a month toward internet service. Visit fcc.gov/ACP for more.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin ultra strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Okay. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Nerds. Here at NerdWallet, we often see people wrestle with financial decisions.
Mike is in the ring, up against his nemesis, indecision. Mike can't decide the best way to save his money, and indecision has him boxed in. But wait, Mike tagged in NerdWallet.
Whew, let's go. With NerdWallet side-by-side comparisons, you can find a high-yield savings account with interest rates that earn more bank for your buck. So the next time you wrestle with a financial decision, you'll come out on top. NerdWallet, the smartest decision for all your financial decisions.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
In conversation inside my Pulse One-on-One with Professor Griff of Public Enemy. You know, they're making fun of me on our YouTube feed right now, Professor, because I told them that you officially proclaimed me a new member of the crew at the beginning of the broadcast. Is that not true? Am I not a member?
Danny, I love you. You understand what I'm saying? You're my brother.
Oh, man, he buttering me up. Y'all see what's going on right now? Go ahead.
We got to run some track, do some sit-ups, some push-ups, and then we got to get thorough knowledge and stuff, which you probably already have.
Yeah, I do take care of myself, sir. I do take care of myself, no doubt.
Okay.
All right, check this out. This clip that I'm about to play for you is about NBA superstar Steph Curry. Now, he may go down as the greatest shooter to ever live, but he may also go down as the greatest threat to where poor people choose to live, at least as it relates to the city of Atherton. Listen.
Superstar Steph Curry and his wife, they have been working to block a city shot at affordable housing.
Vibe is obviously different in the sense of, you know, accepting people from different walks, different backgrounds, and actually walking that walk.
But the MVP and his wife are not so welcoming of a 3-story townhouse project planned for this property in what's apparently a literal case of NIMBY. In a letter to the city of Atherton, Steph and Aisha Curry wrote, "We hesitate to add to the not in our backyard rhetoric, but we wanted to send a note before today's meeting. Safety and privacy for us and our kids continues to be our top priority, and one of the biggest reasons we chose Atherton as home." Curry's recently moved up court from one Atherton estate into a bigger $30 million property. The couple writes that should the new townhouse project proceed, we ask that the town commits to investing in considerably taller fencing and landscaping.
So, Professor, I'm a big proponent of reparations from white America, but I also make the case on this broadcast regularly that black celebrities that have broken the bank on the backs of the black community have made it, they owe us restitution of some sort. They need to go back to their communities, donate a percentage of their resources that we helped build, and invest in our people. Do you subscribe to that same ideology, and what do you think of Steph Curry not wanting affordable housing in his neighborhood?
Well, I do. I would prescribe to that. I would sign on the dotted line on what you just gave us. we need to secure our families. It's one thing, and it's the duty and responsibility of every able-bodied man to do that. The way you do it, you may get some pushback from the community. And I would just humbly say to Steph Curry, maybe this is the only way, Danny, that he knows how to do it. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of times we may know what we want in our heads, in our mind, our spirit. We may talk to family members about it. The way we go about it, because my thing is we have to have at least a relationship with the community that he's talking about. That poses the question. The first question, does he have a relationship with the community that he's talking about? When he talk about we hesitate to add to not in our backyard. Well, whose backyard are you in?
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? Who kicked down the barriers and those doors for you to even live in those kind of backyards? You understand what I'm saying? Not only off the court, but how about on the court, Steph Curry? Do you? I'm sure you know the NBA history. You have to know the Dr. J's, the Julius Irvings. You have to know these kind of individuals that kick down the door, the Lou Alcindors. You understand what I'm saying? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, pardon me. That kick down the door for you to even dribble a ball.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? So I think a lot of times it's the way we go about it, bro. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hope he turns around. Yeah, it seems like once certain people, and this just isn't just a black thing, this is a celebrity thing, they reach a certain plateau, they don't want to be around regular folk anymore. All of a sudden, it's just all about, I only want to see my waiter, my gardener, my cook, and my family. Nobody else. That's it.
and I truly think that's sad because it's the community that helped raise Professor Griff, Danny Morrison, Steph Curry. It's the community. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
The young brother that got shot in the face in Kansas City. It's the community. 1,800 of his peers came out to support him. Can you imagine that?
Amazing.
1,800 people come to your aid? Celebrities, all kind of people. You understand? That's the community Steph Curry needs to look at and be like, something, they would have your back, Steph, but you got to have theirs, man. Come on.
That's right. Professor Griff on fire tonight, man. We got to get this clip in before we say goodbye to the professor. I don't think we can play this whole thing, Andy, but let's play as much as we can. All right, check this out. Our last story is about AI technology. Now, people are terrified about how easy it is to replicate the voices of their favorite artists and create songs via artificial intelligence. People are so terrified that musical artists are speaking out on the issue, especially after an AI created a Jay-Z song. It came out last week and Hip Hop DX was on the case. Listen.
An AI-generated Jay-Z verse that has gone viral has sparked concern from Young Guru, Ninth Wonder, and DJ Clark Kent, with Guru even calling for the government to intervene. Hope's esteemed engineer shared the digitally generated vocals on his Instagram page on Friday, March 31st, which sound almost indistinguishable from the real Jay-Z. That was enough for Guru to sound the alarm bells for where AI is heading.
You tell the young they can never become what they aspire to. Born in a cell with no one who can inspire you.
Your highs are never as high as those that lie to you.
Pretending that they live in the sky, lying behind your roof.
Shooting holes up at your ceiling, trying to find the proof, trying to fight the feeling, the truth.
Tied up like the noose they've been concealing.
Dipped in a diamond so that you find it appealing.
Time for dealing, despite y'all dealing, we are the savages, the natives who fight the appeal of all your lavishes. The brave who find what is real and call it as it is.
And use a mind wheel to escape the laws of averages.
To be rich and broke,
could it be broke and rich? You see it all gets flipped by those who master this,
who give a whole new meaning to what you mastered.
In his post, he wrote, "I've been trying to tell everyone that this is where we are now with AI. For some reason, this one got everyone's attention. So what do we do? On one hand, I'm well aware that you can't stop technology. Once the genie is out of the box, you can't put him back in. On the other hand, we have to protect the rights of the artist. Not only artists, but everyone in society. People should not be able to take your name, image, and likeness without permission. We have to add the voice to this law. We have to learn from past mistakes. You will be a fool to chase every person that is going to do this. We learned that lesson with Napster. The only way I see to deal with it is to change the law. There are so many different options. We could change the United States law tomorrow, but the internet is worldwide."
Now you know and I know, Professor, there is an AI-generated song with Public Enemy coming really, really soon.
Exactly.
So what is your opinion on AI technology? Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? And how in the hell do we stop it if it's a bad thing?
Well, first of all, the idea of trying to stop it is ridiculous. That's number one. Number two, I would just like to say it's best to learn how to get along with AI, use it before it uses you.
Wow.
Some of the things that were absolutely incorrect. We don't own our own voices. We don't own our likenesses. We don't own our names. Prince taught us that. That's why he had to go by the title, the artist formerly known as. When you sign on the dotted line to these labels, they own your likeness to exploit it. They own your name. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to understand.
I think not to. I need to piggyback on what you're saying because I think NCAA football players would disagree with what you're saying. They're about to get paid based on their likeness, right?
True. Yeah, and that just happened recently. How long have they been playing?
Fair enough. Touche, Professor. Touche. We got 2 more minutes. So what do you think? So you say we should embrace it. Matter of fact, I was telling Andy earlier today, I saw Snoop Dogg. He was being interviewed at an airport or something, and he said he would love to hear a Tupac and Biggie AI-generated song. It sounds like you agree with him.
Well, who's going to control it and who's going to benefit from it? Who's going to own it at the end of the day?
That's the
question. Are we going to take care of Tupac and Biggie's children with that?
Yeah. Okay.
So we need that dynamic. Exactly.
Well, I think Puffy would have a problem. Well, P. Diddy would have a problem with it. Dr. Dre probably have a problem with it as well. I mean, who gets the bag?
No.
Who controls the track itself?
Well, P. Diddy, he has other issues that he's kind of dealing with right now. We're going to leave that alone.
Wow.
Yeah. Malcolm X said, only when you throw a rock in a crowd of dogs, the only one to holler is the one to get hit.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Man, you going to say that at the tail end of the show? We could talk more about P. Diddy. Sound like you got some juice that you need to give a drink. We don't know what you're talking about. What you mean?
Yeah. We'll do a part 2 to this. We'll talk.
We'll do a part. Professor Griff, give him love, by the way, Andy, coming in all the way from the ATL to have a conversation inside the Danny Morrison Show. If people want to follow you, learn more about you, be a part of your movement, tell them where to go, Professor.
Yeah, all they have to do is just go and just put either hashtag Professor Griff or just Google my name, Professor Griff. Everything will come up. And I just tell people, call me directly, 678-557-2919. Hit me up. I'm good.
Wow. One more time. Phone number. One more time.
678-557-2919.
Wow. Gave out his phone number over the air, man.
I got to shout out to Diki Bakari out there on the West Coast, man. You understand what I'm saying? Once again, thank you very much, good bro. And thank you, Danny Morrison. And your staff, man, they on point, bro. They making it happen. Yeah. I called in when you told me to call in. They like, bro, come on, bro. You on time. Well, nobody's on time.
I got the best producer in media. DJ 8+ Andy's in the building. So I appreciate you, King.
He's on point.
I'll be in contact for sure. Let's keep it close, and I'm going to get you in studio in the very near future. I just appreciate everything that you do. And by the way, just on a real serious note, thank you for showing a young brother. When I used to look at you on stage, like I said, the military outfits and always being on point and showing a young buck like me how to act in public and how to be a man about minds. So God bless you, and thank you for everything you do.
Give thanks, man. The divinity in me salutes and celebrates the divinity in you. Peace.
Peace. Wow, absolutely fantastic. Professor Griff from Public Enemy. Wow, that was an honor right there. That's one of those, I got to mark those off the list. You know, I got my bucket list. That's one right there, for sure. Professor Griff. What you think, Andy? Tell me on the other side. 1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. We unpacked the conversation we just had. We got some Upon Further review clips. We'll read some YouTube comments. Why y'all picking on your boy tonight? There's some haters in there tonight. Danny Morrison Show, KBLA right now. News and traffic. Stay there.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Julius White. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Concerns about Black Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas's failure to disclose gifts and luxury travel he received from a Republican donor are being sent to a judicial committee. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse and Congressman Hank Johnson also accused Thomas of not reporting the sale of 3 Georgia properties related to him to billionaire donor Harlan Crow. In California, the city of San Diego is considering no-fault eviction payments for renters. If approved by the San Diego City Council on Tuesday, tenants who are paying rent on time and complying with their lease could only be evicted by receiving 2 months' rent from the landlord, 3 months for seniors and